Hey everybody, it's Kyle. I am coming to you from my basement, and it's been a pretty big 2 weeks. I guess it has been about 2 weeks since I talked to you guys last. I can tell you that lots of stuff has happened, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good, almost all of it. Actually, it's really good. So I'm going to go ahead and start out just like normal. I know we had a special report last time, and that was great, but I think that was about, sorry, man, I'm totally out on my own podcast even. I think the special report was about Dune, about me seeing Dune, if I remember correctly. And yeah, that's exactly what it was. So yeah, that was not quite 2 weeks ago, but not far. Still stand by what I said on that. I have talked to some people. I'll get into that later. Let me talk about what's bugging me. What is bugging me? I mean, it does suck that shelves are kind of empty for certain items. It's kind of interesting. But we actually it wasn't a problem, but we actually experienced a little bit of that yesterday because we bought a new vehicle, and I swore I would never buy a brand new vehicle again. I think the last one I bought was in 1999. So yeah, 22 years since I've owned a new vehicle. But it's beautiful. We're very happy with it. It's a nice Kia Sorento, fully loaded. I mean, it's just sharp as hell. I can start it with my phone. I can lock it, unlock it, all that stuff, and have wireless charging in it. Heated seats, heated steering wheel. I mean, it's loaded. The main entertainment media system is like, I've driven a Tesla, and it's reminiscent of that. I mean, it has so many features. I mean, the screen's smaller than that, but that Tesla screen's pretty crazy anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this. There were not many vehicles on the lot for sale. And that's really interesting at a dealership because you're used to walking on there and, oh, I don't like this. I want a blue one. And they're like, okay, I got 5 blue ones in different, trims over here. Nope. They literally got 4 of these vehicles in yesterday of various trims, and they sold all 4 of them yesterday. So there's a shortage. The good news is we had a Dodge Journey, and I was aching to kind of get rid of it. I just had a friend who had one, and he had lots of issues with it. His was a little older than mine, or ours, sorry. But yeah, he was looking to get rid of it. So, once I started reading up a little bit on the internet and everything, I was like, wow, yeah, I gotta get rid of this thing. And right now is the best time. If you can trade in a vehicle or sell a used vehicle, you're going to make more than what you normally would. So we did pretty good with that vehicle and the trade-in on this. And, yeah, granted, this vehicle's more expensive. However, you do get what you pay for, and see you later, Dodge. Never again. I'm sorry to anybody who's listening that has a Dodge. I know there are some that are really nice and stuff, but never again for me. Chrysler and Jeep, that might be a little different. I know they're owned by this. They all fall into the same group, but I think I'll just kind of stay away. So, and that's kind of a bummer too. I'm sold on a South Korean car that was actually a very cheap car alternative, just 20 years ago. Now has become, I mean, this is a nice vehicle that we have, borderline luxury vehicle, I would say. And yeah, Kia's come a long ways. Okay, so what I'm getting at is the shortage. There's a chip shortage, so they can't produce as many vehicles because they can't have the computer chips that go into these systems, whether it be the system that controls the whole vehicle as far as we've had computer chips in cars since the 80s, or it be the chips that go into the, interactive stuff on the screens and everything. So yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Like, go by a dealership wherever you are and just take a look. There's not a lot of vehicles there, man. Doesn't matter what kind of vehicles. So that is very interesting. And I mean, I've already experienced a little bit of it at the store, and I'm not going to whine about it, but yeah, I just hope it doesn't get worse. That's my concern. It's not where it is right now because, okay, I can't have this exact, this exact toilet paper type or whatever, paper towel type that we prefer, but here's 12 others to pick from. No problem. But it will become a problem if it doesn't get rectified. And so that's a little scary. Anyway, that's what's kind of bugging me right now. I know, not super cool, kind of weak. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, toss you over to Kyle. And when we come back, we'll talk about some things that I'm into right now. So let me go ahead and turn that over. Hey, Kyle. All right, we're back. Okay, so what am I into right now? So many things. I know I've talked a lot about Dune, but I stand behind that. I've talked to almost everybody I've talked to really liked it. But there are a few people that are kind of like, well, man, I mean, it kind of left it open at the end. I'm like, yeah, this is part 1 of 2. Like I talked about in the special report, they didn't advertise any of that before this movie came out. So, but I watched it again a couple nights later at home here on HBO Max, and my wife watched it with me, and she loved it. She thought it was great. I mean, she knew what was coming, and I was able to pause it occasionally and talk about what was going on as far as the Bene Gesserit and, the Sardaukar, stuff like that they don't go into too much detail explaining. They do kind of explain the Sardaukar a little bit, but anyway. So she dug it. She liked it a lot. She agreed. She loved the actors in it, the roles, the look of it is gorgeous, everything. So we dig it, guys. Let's see, what else have I been watching? Man, we watched the end of the 2nd season of Ted Lasso, so like the last 4 episodes. What an amazing show. I mean, when we started watching it, I was just like, oh, yeah, it's some goofy comedy about an American football coach who gets hired to go to England to coach a soccer club. And it's so much more than that, man. There's so much good stuff in that. And I highly recommend it. If you haven't watched that, give that a shot. I actually watched a thing on YouTube about the best horror films. And maybe I was just getting geared up for Halloween or something, but a bunch of them that I didn't know. I think it was like the top 20 horror films that you don't know. And some of them I did know, actually, like Audition. I love that film by Takashi Miike. I think it was like maybe number 3 or 2. I can't remember, but it was in the top 5. And some of the other ones that they had in there I knew, but there were quite a bit that I didn't know. I knew of them maybe, but I haven't seen them. Martin is a really good one. That's George Romero's take on vampires. After he did, I think, the first 2 Living Dead films, he actually stepped aside and did a film about vampirism. And yeah, so I'm checking that out. I'm watching that. I'm interested in that. And there are some other films in there that are, I think Possession is one from like 1981 they talk about. A lot of them are pretty new too. There's some good ones in there. Bone Tomahawk's on the list. I haven't watched that still, but I've heard it's pretty great. I mean, I love Kurt Russell and I like Westerns, so, it's probably going to work out. What else have we been watching? I mean, I watched the end of the World Series last night. Way to go, Atlanta Braves. I'm so happy you won, because I sure as hell didn't want the Astros to win. Sorry, Astros fans. Just not a fan myself. Chiefs have been pretty atrocious this year. They've really had a hard time. Not sure exactly what's going on for a team that made it to the last 2 Super Bowls before this, but yeah, they just don't look good. So I haven't really been watching them, kind of avoiding them. I got lots of other things to watch. Again, the Creepshow series on Shudder is fantastic. If you haven't watched it, check it out because it's really good. Been watching that. I actually think I have an episode ready. I might be able to watch that this evening. Things have gotten better, by the way. I know I talked about how busy we were and all that stuff, and things have gotten a little bit better. My daughter has started the club, the volleyball club team that she's on. They had their first practice Monday. They just have practices, twice a week, basically. My son marching band is not over because the football team at his high school is doing amazingly. I think they've lost one game. So they've got all kinds of playoff games they've been going through, and he's getting to march a little bit more than we thought he would. So that's awesome. But yeah, still, even with all that, things have settled down. Now this week's not fair because they're out of school this week, parent-teacher conferences and stuff. So that's not a fair comparison. But even next week when they're back to school and stuff, it'll be a little bit easier going for us. So that's good. That's a good thing. Let's see. That's about it for what I've been watching. What I've been listening to is a total different ballgame here. Not really. Some of it you would know. I did venture over to Seventh Heaven last weekend, and I found a couple great used records. The Blues Brothers self-titled record, or maybe it's actually called something. I can't remember, but it's It's one with Rubber Biscuit on it. It is called Briefcase Full of Blues, I think. Yeah. But I like that. I like that record a lot. I mean, I like them. I know, it was kind of a little joke or whatever, but it's got a good sound. They got a lot of good people in that band. So, that one was great. I picked that one up. And then I also picked up, Timbuk 3, which, they were kind of that 80s, 90s band. But where I first heard them was in the soundtrack, believe it or not, the soundtrack for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which is really kind of a comedic horror film. It's not at all like the first film, other than the fact that it is about a family of cannibals in Texas that take people and cut them up and put them in their chili. But but it's not as serious and horrifying as the original film. It's actually grosser, but gore's not always scary. So it's kind of like a comedy mixed with horror film. I love it. It's very reminiscent to me of the Evil Dead films. If you've seen those, how they kind of take a comedic look at horror, that's what it is. It's like that. So there's funny jokes and funny sayings and stuff like that in it. And it's just an awkward, weird film. I dig it. My uncle and I used to watch it all the time and loved it. And actually, that was one of the records that we found down in the basement, my son and I, when I started getting back into record collecting. So pretty cool. But I bought that soundtrack, gosh, I mean, almost 20 years ago. I came across it in a little record store in Midtown KC where I used to live, and I just bought it because you can't find it anywhere, and it's a great soundtrack. It's not just them on it. Oingo Boingo's on it. Concrete Blonde is on it. There's a lot of good groups on it. But Timbuk 3, I just kind of like their sound. It's twangy. It's definitely dated, but I like it. I like their music. I like the lyrics. So it reminds me like Rainmakers. Hooters was a little bit like that. The Hooters. But yeah, I dig it. So I got that one too. And then I decided, they have a table back towards the back in the record store area where they have any excess record store day records, or if they've gotten some new ones in, because they do sometimes get some in still, even after record store day. And so I'll go dig through there and just see if there's anything I'm interested in. I knew there was Frank Black or Black Francis. I can't remember, Abba Bubba or something like that. I wasn't really interested in that, but I kept digging, and I'm like, I wonder if they'll have that Justice or Just Ice, that old school album that I really wanted to get on record store day. So I kept digging. Sure enough, they had one copy. Now, they did not have that on record store day, so I was very excited to find that. I bought it, and I love it. It's definitely very old school rap, but I totally dig it. It's really great. I also picked up not Pink Floyd, close enough. I picked up David Gilmour. He has a live album that's out, and it's pretty expensive, but it's for 180 gram records of live deal at Pompeii that he did. And so it's some of his solo stuff and, of course, some Pink Floyd songs. So that sounds really great. It's awesome. Outcast Atlians. Not sure if you're familiar with that one. It's got the Elevators, You and Me. It's got Wheels of Steel. I like that tune a lot. And then Atlians itself, the main song. Sorry about my phone going off. But yeah, it's really good. Love that. It sounds great. And then last but not least, came in today. Now, I did a research thing to help the app Comixology. They're actually intertwined with Amazon now. So I did beta testing and stuff for a new app for them, and they did throw us some gift cards every once in a while here and there. And so I used some of those actually and got Automaton by Jamiroquai. So that would be my first Jamiroquai album. Can't wait to listen to that one. I haven't listened to it yet, but I cannot wait. So definitely going to blast that this evening. But yeah, that's what I'm listening to right now. And I'll put pictures of all the spins in, just like normal, link in the notes. Let's see. Reading. Still reading about the same. I did read a really cool, one of the Star Wars Bounty Hunter comics, and it's IG-88, which I love that droid for some reason. But I like that Bounty Hunter droid. And I think there's IG-11 was the one that was in Mandalorian. But yeah, so that's a really good book if you get a chance. Read the second book of May's book, which is great. Haven't read the new Snow Angels or a crossover. I need to get into those. But yeah, I haven't been reading a whole lot. But yeah, anyway, those are great. And then the other thing I've been doing is I finally picked up an Xbox Series X controller or Xbox One controller. It doesn't matter. They're the same. But I picked up my own, and I can use it with this Galaxy Tab S7 Plus and either play Xbox games or any games, basically, that take a controller. So I've been playing a little bit of Call of Duty Mobile, and that has been really fun, man. Pretty good at it, too. I'm sure I'm playing with kids, but you always are, and usually they'll kick your ass. Not so much for me. I play this one type of game where your team has to get 50 kills or whatever, and in one of the last ones I had 24 of that 50, so I was a leader in the group on that one as far as points and all that jazz. So it's fun, man. I kind of like playing that. It helps me blow off a little bit of steam. And that's about it. Not much else going on, guys. Not too exciting, to be honest with you. I got a bunch of parent-teacher conferences lined up this afternoon, and then tomorrow afternoon as well, or evening, I guess. But yeah, that's what I'm up to. Not much else. Not too exciting. Just really excited about the new vehicle. I can remote start it, actually, and you can remote start it to warm up the car, turn on the heated seats and steering wheel, defrost it, and it's all locked, of course, so nobody can get in and steal it, but because you can turn it off if somebody tries that. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. I got a chance to use that this morning. I mean, we were at that dealership for, God, I want to say it was 4 hours. But I will say this. My wife was playing hardball, man. I was pretty proud of her because I don't like dealership, but I will say I did like this experience, and it's Cable Dahmer. But this experience was good for me for a dealership, which is interesting because I said I would only ever go to CarMax again, but this was actually a good situation. They worked with us really well, got us payments near what we were looking for, because it is a new vehicle. I think you got to be aware and have the right expectations. And vehicles are expensive, but yeah, we were there a long time, but she was really playing hardball with the finance people. I got to hand it to her on that. I mean, there was one point where she's like, yeah, but here's the thing. I don't even need it. See, I can just take the car I have and just leave. And I was like, damn, man. Really proud of her. Now, I know her dad is real good at that too. I don't like doing it. It's not that I'm scared to. It's just I don't like it. And she doesn't either, but she did a good job, and I gotta say, I mean, we're very happy. It's a fantastic vehicle. So, And that's about it. I don't have much else to say, guys. I appreciate you guys listening. You know, there's some other things out there that I'm kind of looking for and listening to. There is a Bob Geldof album that I'm looking for. I think it's something Nowhere. I can't remember, but yeah, I think I found it for like less than $6 on Discogs because nobody wants it. Deep in the Heart of Nowhere. That's what it is. But it had This Is the World Calling was the big song off it. That was actually a single. And I think he had Love Like a Rocket also was a single. But looking for that one. I want to say it's like mid to late 80s, that record. But I like it. I'd like to own that again. And I'll just keep looking for stuff like that. I probably need to lean more towards those used records that are a little bit cheaper because, man, these new ones are pricey. I'm not even going to get into what some of them cost. But that's it. Not much else going on. I have talked to Mikey and PP, and we are going to do another Hot Wing Challenge, hopefully this month in November on one of these Fridays. And then another thing I'm going to be getting together with Mikey for is there is a horror thriller type film called Lamb about this couple that moves out into the country with their child. And it looks really weird. And when he and I saw the trailer, we were both like, holy shit, man, we got to see that because we really loved The Lighthouse together. But we both know neither one of our wives are going to want to see Lamb, and probably nobody else that we know. So we're pretty excited to see that and watch that one together. That's it. Nothing else, guys. Same old, same old. I appreciate you listening. Keep it up. I'll hopefully have some new stuff here for you soon. I do still need to get that last interview, and I'm sorry. Episode 100 hasn't been there yet, but it's just difficult, you know. But hang in there. I'm hanging in there. I appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you later. Oh, hey, and get off my lawn.